Brian, for fuck's sake.
20 years in the making, still 18 hours ahead. While the cigarette smuggling, I saw the fat cop said. She's my friend with the long hair, he plays the bongo drum. The fat cop didn't listen, no man, he just a twiddling his thumb. I can use something or other, I don't know, you know. She kinda looked at me different and I said, hey man, what's up, man? Just can't tell you a story.
How's that sound?
Dusty.
Aye?
Yep.
Will it do?
If we get a quiet moment, it might be alright.
Will it do?
Probably no, but if we get a quiet, we figure out what we're saying first.
If you can hear what's happening, then that's what's your head.
Huh? How's it sound?
Huh?
Good?
Aye. Hello and welcome to the fond city of Dundee.
Oh, lovely it is.
Beautiful city, beautiful view. The home place of our darling Billy Mackenzie, Dundee's greatest export. We'll be asking a few people about Billy Mackenzie today, but the real thing we're talking about is the Scottish games industry. Just wait till this van passes. So cut this bit out. Right,
we're talking to some
the title of this thing, this needs a title. The title, we'll put the title in later. It's a Consulvania thing about Scottish, about the games industry in Scotland. You can say a bit.
What?
No, you can say a bit.
We will be speaking to lots of games industry people because there are lots of them in Dundee, from the mobile phones to the other big ones on the 360 and stuff.
And showing us, and we've got, to show us around today, we've got Brian Baglow who has come in.
Right, yes.
He's going to be showing us around. He's a PR man, but on this occasion we're going to let him help us.
What day do you think?
Keep it running in case I think of something funny.
What time is it?
Shh, I'm thinking of
6 o'clock.
I'm thinking of funny things.
Dundee used to be famous for jamming journalism. Now we're looking at street jam
Brian,
journalism.
Brian,
Joysticks.
Brian, shut up!
He's throwing ideas in.
It's called brainstorming. Yeah, like daddy uses. High-strung, temperamental, creative times.
Why don't?
Because we can't put this out there and it just looks like we're doing a promotional thing and it's like,
Because we'll be paying for it
they've sold it, they're taking the money and they're just, so we've got to think of funny things that we're saying because it's entertainment as well.
Now what am I gonna do? My baby left me out of blue. I got a big space in my bed. It's like a big hole in the head. I need to get.
We can make full screens, so you can get a nice, looks all nice and pretty and stuff.
Yep.
And then you can do a quick tour of what actually got.
Brian, going to get out of the way, we're trying to...
You for Consulvania?
Aye.
So,
Have you seen it?
yeah, it's quality, love it.
Amazing, we'll keep that in. You know, which game should people hunt down to get an idea what your company does?
In the mobile space, probably Lego bricks.
Just tell us a wee bit about your company and what it is you do here, what it is you're working on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're Tag Games and we're a mobile development studio specifically right now. We concentrate on mobile in 3D, 2D, Java and Brew technologies. Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges developing for mobile is just the spectrum of different devices that you've got to develop for.
I'm going to ask about my mobile phone now to see if I can get games on it. My mobile phone is a Sagam or Sagam one. Can you put your games on this kind of phone?
No.
No.
I'll try this seat.
Comfy seat.
What company is this?
Dynamo.
Dynamo. Try and sit down.
Because a seat is an expensive seat.
I don't know.
Oh, it must be.
It's for Brian.
Jeez, what's up there?
Good, isn't it? Is that like the boss's seat then?
He likes to.
What are you sitting on? What kind of seat have you got?
I've got the
Ah,
T-Rex
shit on you've got.
That's amazing, that seat.
Like that, relaxing, and then you just get back to work. Just, you can stretch on the chair without even moving. So I'd recommend it to all games developers. Perfect.
What can you tell us about, just tell us a wee bit about the company.
Yeah, we're 4 years old now. We've done a few titles. Chapman, we're going into our 5th iteration of that. Countdown, which was our first own licence, and that went out in March this year.
What's the biggest word you know?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Is that in the dictionary, Brian?
The Disney dictionary, yes it is.
Comedy for Brian.
And now we're busy working on the Crystal Maze as well.
Right, that's really exciting for anybody that watches Consulvania because we're all big fans of the Crystal Maze.
Brian, you're in the way.
Sorry, Ryan.
Come get him.
Hold on, I've not got the glasses on. Oh, there he is. Here, do you want me to do my impression? I'll do my impression.
Brian does an impression of Richard O'Brien.
Well, what do you want to play?
Here's a thing. Do you think he's actually gay, Richard O'Brien? Because he seems gay, but I think he's married.
No comment. We're working with him, but I don't know.
Well, there's nothing wrong with asking. Nothing wrong with being gay. So it's not like you're.
I don't know if he's gay, but I've never looked into it.
Because I think he acts like he's gay, but I think he's got children and stuff.
Is he?
I know Elton John pretended he wasn't gay when he was married to somebody.
Was he in the Crystal Maze, Elton John?
No.
This is an exclusive preview. Nobody's seen this out with this office.
I can see the crystal.
That's the crystal just now, yeah.
I can see the crystal.
Do you just need to get it, or do you need to get back?
You need to get back.
Oh,
as well.
Jesus
God, you've only got 50 seconds.
It's just like the show. It's supposed to be really hard.
But will it ever work on this one?
Let's see. No, Sagems are a nightmare. They're like the worst phones to develop for.
Right, before we end, we get one thing, because the next game coming out is the Crystal Maze. Can you lead us kind of running about the office like Richard O'Brien did, remember, in the Crystal Maze? And we'll kind of follow you. Kitchen zone! Come on! Kitchen!
Right, you've got a 3-minute game. You've got to separate all the chairs and rearrange them. Go!
Separate them?
Yeah.
Lift them up, Robert.
What's
Robert. Listen, Robert. Lift them up.
20 seconds.
I don't know what separate them means.
How's the crystal?
Robert.
I don't know.
Take the one on your right, Robert. The one on your right.
2, 1. He's locked in.
This is us outside the Radio Tay building. We're going in to meet a very special man in a minute. Why don't you come with us and then you can look at them also. Right, we can't actually go in because we shot this bit. We shot inside before.
The receptionist will not let us in.
Games.
Oh, here's a minute, a lot of stairs. Right, Jeff, can you tell us a wee bit about what you're doing in the games industry just now?
Sure. Well, I've been involved for about 10 years, really. Obviously, I had a career in pop music before I came into
Right,
games.
we need to stop there because I was going to bring it up if he didn't bring it up, right? But he was in Danny Wilson, right? Which is just, and I mean, well, everybody knows it. Anybody who watches our show knows how much we like Danny Wilson, and we've used their music without permission in the show before and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So it's an honour to meet you, actually. But we'll talk about, we'll pretend that the game stuff is the more important thing to us now, and just carry on. So talk about how you're doing in the games industry.
Well, I've been involved for, as I said, for about 10 years. I'm doing loads of different types of things, but I kind of got known for doing a lot of rock-orientated electronica type of music, which I did some music for the Matrix game, and then I found out the back of that I actually got a lot of commissions in that kind of style. So I've done stuff for Gretzky, hockey, I've done stuff with Namco in Japan and that, but all in that kind of style, really. But I mean, there's never a dull moment. You get, orchestral stuff, you get comedy stuff, So it's good from the point of view of writing music that you get a chance to try out loads of different styles as well.
And so would you say it's quite a fulfilling thing for a musician to work in the games industry?
I think it is, aye. I mean, also I'm really interested in how, through games people are getting involved and finding out about new acts and new artists. And it's one of the things that my company are involved in. We're signing artists as well and featuring them in games.
Get a shot of the wee needles going round. The wee needles are always good in these things. And thanks for Danny Wilson. Danny Wilson's first album comes very, very strongly recommended. Probably one of the greatest pieces of music ever to come out of Scotland. So
I had bigger hair at that point.
Me? We are here at the University of Abertay, where they have a programme for youngsters making... What? Is it Abertay?
Well, University of Abertay Dundee's its full name. And we're going in to meet some students. Hot students.
Come on, now you're talking.
Let's have a look.
Don't kill anybody, remember.
Yeah. The problem is I never broke scissors to open up the... Have you not a knife or something? Have you not a pen knife?
Try a pencil.
No. I hope this is fucking real.
Stab it with that. Everybody's staring. They're all staring at us. That was a good pencil.
Right, turn it off.
A minute left.
Turn it off. This is what I did opening the tapes. That's my sacrifice for the games industry. Scotland.
Scotland. Remember to say Scotland.
That's my sacrifice for the Scottish games industry.
Games, that's good.
Funded by Scottish Enterprise.
Aye, very good. It's good. Brian, you're in the way.
Welcome to the place.
I can't, Rab, you'll have to speak up.
What?
You'll have to speak up. I can't hear you. You'll have to, hold on, I'll come down. You'll have to speak up.
Alright.
Right. 2 seconds. Oh crap!
So we can maybe try jumping up over here. If I knock this platform, it should hopefully fall over.
This looks a wee bit like you've been ripped off by Little Big Planet.
Yeah, well, we actually came up with this idea before Little Big Planet was announced to us. So we were sitting, we applied to this competition back in December. I think Little Big Planet was announced in like early spring.
But you're suggesting this for Xbox Live Arcade?
Yeah, it's quite...
Well, you've targeted the successful system then. Little Big Planet's on the big bomb system.
Can't
so
say that,
how?
Because it's biased.
You can't say the PS3's fucked. Why?
Can't say that word either.
Who's your biggest rival in the room? Who do you?
Wow, rivals. These guys are really good. You should see that art. It's amazing. They've just got like the most beautifully animated game ever.
See it actually, Pete. It looks far better than you.
Oh shit.
It does. Look at it, can you see it?
That's lovely looking, eh? So they're your enemy?
No,
I need to be honest, I think you could battle the against them. In a fight, you could take them.
I don't know, like Chris is a pretty big guy. I'm not sure I could have him.
Slow. He's slow. You could go up and hit him, you'd run, they'd never catch you.
The Chinese guys all know ninja skills as well.
You can't say that.
No, you can't say things like that.
We'll need to leave you now because you're being racist.
No, the screenings are free. The screenings are all free. The consumers get in absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. It's not been made very clear on the website. That
no, the thing is, the problem is, the website's only listing the trade side of things. They want folk from the big publishers and the big developers to go along and pay 150 quid.
Reception. That gives you an idea of
Hello.
all the stuff we've done.
Bye.
See ya.
Hey,
Hi.
how's it going? Hey, Ryan. Good to meet you.
And this is Sean and Pete.
What's that you're drinking?
It is water with some blackcurrant.
Nice. You like Ribena?
Yes, but we don't get it here. We get the cheap stuff.
All right. Okay. If you mention Ribena, they might send us some bottles. So you used to sit in here, aye? Why did you leave?
Personal reason.
We couldn't take him anymore. We had to get
No,
You can't have a wank if you're sitting with everybody else.
I've got privacy now. I've got my own little wank hole. So this is Ian.
Hello.
Stuart and another Tom.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi all.
That's Dinky.
Yeah.
Excellent. Will we go and have a chat now?
How's it going?
Brian, go out of the way. Please. He's been getting in the way of all the shoots today. Just go back the same way we came.
You're going to be in all of them, aren't you?
Hello again.
Bounty.
Aye, okay. Cheers. Can I just have the rest?
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. No, let's leave it to me.
We're Denki, and we're kind of like Santa's workshop, I guess. You've seen all the elves, and they're all happy. And we make mainly interactive television games for Sky and a company called DirecTV in the US. And we're just starting to get back into PC and console.
So would this be for Xbox Live Arcade?
Yeah. We're having a tinker. So we start with a few things that we kind of liked, like this. Which you vaguely recognize. And a long time ago, I was on a magazine called Zap.
See, you were kind of downplaying that there, the fact that you were on Zap.
Because it's a long time ago.
Yeah, but it's something to be proud of, surely.
Oh, very proud of that. It was a long time ago, but it was good fun.
Do you think Zap gets the recognition that it's due these days?
In some circles, definitely. Definitely. I still get recognised on the street.
Could you possibly recreate your pose for us from your wee photo caption thing? What was Rignall like?
Rignall was, I think Rignall was one of the best natural games players I've ever met.
What did that face mean then?
It means we had some run-ins and some friction, but it was.
So you're not still in touch?
No, not for a long time. Now this one, this is there's a war going on, and you're basically making stuff. Nice guys if you get it wrong. So we're going for a sort of Neo Geo-ish style, I suppose, is the best way of describing it. And also moving back into 3D. A lot of the guys here did 3D before, but we just have to get back into it because all the work we've been doing up to date has all been 2D on the set-top boxes. Yeah, so you can see that one fared okay.
Well, it does, that looks good.
And then I get
because we've seen a few real fucking stinkers today. I think that one thing I would say about a lot of the games that we've seen today when we've been looking about has been quite a lot of them seem to look like they'd be a good fit onto the Wii. Just same kind of sensibilities there, like that welding game you were showing us there with the welding riveting would be like perfect for the Wii.
We're inspired by that, and also it's because it's not so much the casual game space, it's a stupid term in itself, but it's the way Nintendo's kind of come at it with this. It's almost like they're not targeted an audience, but at the same time they've just gone, we're going to make games for our mum and our grandkids and our nephews, and they've kind of targeted almost specific people, and they've just made. I mean, it's the fact that you can pick up a Wii game and play it with the huge generation gap from sort of 3 and 4 year olds right up to people who are about to fall over and die. That's fucking exceptional.
What a fucking bleak way. Are you enjoying it? Have you still got the passion for it?
Yeah, it's good fun. I want to retire in 12 years' time.
So what is it you're working on just now? What's your next thing?
At the moment, we're working on a game for Pocket Shorts Scotland. We're working on a game called Reach for the Stars. Just some of the visuals here. Go in here, you basically select a character, you're male or female here. Go for one of the wee girls here. Some fairly nice looking women. Mixed races.
So what race are you going to go for?
We'll go for
Careful now.
A wee bit of Latino stuff here.
A wee bit of Latino.
There we go, you could give her a hairstyle.
Black hair's got to be jet black. Oh, I like that.
You like the
pigtails?
There's also some spiky numbers here.
No, pigtails.
Toad for Mario Kart.
Pigtails, boys.
Aye. Pigtails. Blonde, black. Aye.
Pigtails.
Aye. Okay, we're going for the pigtails. Blonde, black.
Black pigtails, I think.
That.
Aye.
Okay, we'll give her a wee name.
What do you want to call her, Ryan?
Slave.
Slave. Can we call her slave?
Certainly.
Was that like a sex slave, Ryan?
She's leather shirts, right?
And can you get like skimpier clays for her to wear? Can you get like some skimpy gear in there?
Oh, you can go in here. I'm not too sure how skimpy it is. You can go for a wee bit of a rock chick here, or you got like a wee cowgirl. You might like that.
A wee cowgirl kind of look.
Got a wee skirt on that one.
What age is this one?
Brian, what kind of look, a kind of cowgirl look do you think we should have on Slave, or should we have?
Leather chaps, little short skirt.
Have you not got any schoolgirl kind of looks?
No, we don't. We've got the wee sort of denim skirt here with the tassels. We've got a wee pair of yellow hot pants.
Is that yellow hot pants? It looks almost flesh coloured, almost as if she's got nothing on.
Oh, you like that?
Let's see.
Look.
Let's see.
Doesn't look like anything's on there. I keep that because it looks. It looks for a distance. See if you go back. Hang on, I'll take my camera back. It kind of looks as if she's got no knickers on at all.
Nice.
Yeah, this is pretty good. So you get a new phone, I think.
That's why these cost £500 for these shorts.
It's post
and stuff.
to Lee Wang because there's Lee Wang on the
It's him.
He's in the middle of the tea. Suitcase. You wanted a pay rise.
Poor Lee Wang.
What you wanted paid. Yeah, that's true.
Did you ever call him Lee Wank?
Maybe under our breaths.
No, we got on with everybody. That's kind of the good thing about the mobile space here. Everybody meets up now and again, kind of gets together and passes ideas off each other and see how each other's getting on. The doors are open if we go along there to tag or whatever it is.
See, that's why there's no games industry of any real notice. Well, that's why it's all happening up in Dundee, I think, and there's like far less happening somewhere like Glasgow, because they'd be fucking running battles in the streets and all that.
Each other.
There'd be knife fights and everything in Glasgow if it was.
Well, somebody comes out with each other, starts a similar game, then it might happen here as well.
Aye, because you need to fucking protect your IP. That's my fucking IP, you bastard. I mean, you need to.
So it's like 45 minutes we're waiting, you'll not join us, that's what's happening.
Nice.
Hold on, I'm zooming in. Brian, you're in the way.
Brian, we're here at Real Time Worlds now, in this big, spacious, massive, beautiful big place. Let's find out a wee bit of information about the company. What can you tell us about the company, Real Time Worlds?
The company Real Time Worlds, well, we started about 5 or 6 years ago. We started off as a smaller company as part of Rage, and then we've expanded ever since then. Dave took over the company, started up the company from Rage, and set a game in motion with Microsoft, which ultimately turned into Crackdown, and that helped us expand the company up. Become 170 plus employees now, 3 large games on the go. The success of Crackdown's helped us to really, push ourselves onto the market and be in everybody's, a portfolio for games. And now we're the size we are now, nearly 180 people.
You mentioned 3 games. What are those 3 games?
Can't say an awful lot about one of them, but we've got the Crackdown franchise. It was the first one, and then we've got APB, which you'll probably know a bit about anyway, which is coming on fantastically well, and it's getting better looking and better playing by the day. The other one is a big, massive project that we can't say much about, but it's going to be pretty hardcore.
Is it a secret? This third unnamed game. Is it for any particular console? I imagine it'll be Xbox 360 probably.
We'll work out the details. I'm not going to tell you too much about that one because it's such a massive shake. It's because it's something that we're doing that's typical of the company. You know, innovative, new, scary, risky, but fantastically large scale. Really don't want to say too much about it because it's such a big deal.
You guys must be strutting about like the fucking kings of Dundee because of Crackdown. How does it feel to have something that was such a big critical success? Primarily, I mean that's the important thing. Big critical success. Everybody says great game. How does that feel?
Joe, for me, the best thing about it was the innovation. I mean,
let's get back to APB just for a second. Exactly. Tell us what you can tell us about APB, because I still think that because everything's so kind of secretive about it just now, there might be a lot of people out there that don't even know that it's coming. So what can you say about it?
It's a massive. It's going to be a AAA thing. I mean, it's completely groundbreaking in the terms of technology we're using and the kind of gameplay techniques and stuff that we're doing with it. There's not a lot I can really say about it because we really want to explode onto the market and really shit all over everybody else who's out there doing the same kind of stuff. So I don't want to kind of blow our big day, and tell you too much about it.
No, I'm not going to get him. He's too crafty.
Go online, have a look. I mean, there's some gorgeous stuff out there to be seen already. I mean, you can extrapolate from that about where we're going to be.
It's been said today by a few people that we've spoken to that Scottish developers don't blow their own trumpet enough, unlike American developers. So
you know what? Blow your trumpet if you've got to go into blow, and we kind of hang back because we think that sometimes it's better just to explode onto market and do something that's completely blows everybody away. I mean, you look at what happened to Crackdown. We didn't, go out and shout our mouths off about that, but now we're getting compared to GTA.
Can you even maybe draw us a wee illustration of something that's maybe influenced by or has something to do with APB?
I could draw a stick man for you.
But just something vague that people that doesn't even necessarily need to mean anything. It could be a bluff, just so that people on forums are like, "What does that mean?" They'll be talking about it for like months. You know what forums are like? Just a wee illustration, just a wee sketch, or like something that might.
Get on the website. There's some beautiful stuff there. You don't need me to show you. You can go and see it yourself.
Right. Could you maybe use a random selection of numbers that people might think it's a code that means something about APB?
Fantastic game. That's about as much as I can say about it.
I think I've worked that code out.
I know you're talking.
Good taste.
Brian.
I haven't actually. This is all new to me. This character up. Have you got a plaster in there, by any chance? Because I cut my finger earlier.
We're not going to apply it for you, though. It's only so close we're going to get.
Are these either? Right.
Maybe this will maybe shut them up. It's been going since lunchtime.
Oh, this is stingy. Cheers. Basically, we can count on when things do get. Why don't you make Consolvania the exclusive on APB? Since you watch a show and you could use the exclusive and.
Sorry, we haven't given them anything.
What you need is a decent PR rep to handle this kind of stuff.
Wait a minute though, would that not be an interesting approach?
We can't find one anywhere though.
It would be an interesting approach if a small scale.
Right, well, want to just go?
See that? It says like a spaceship. Huh?
Nice car.
Yep.
Type of car you get to make when you're making games.
When you make money and you make games, that's the car you drive. That's the kind of car you drive if you're Ryan. Am I right, Ryan? I said you would drive a skip.
If I could drive, I'd drive a skip.
If you could drive. You can drive, can't you, Kenny? Right, so can you tell us, can we come out in the light a wee bit?
Yeah, honestly, my wife is going to rip my bollocks off.
Right,
What, my wife rip my bollocks off?
just quickly tell us about your company quickly and what it is you do.
You kidding me? Honestly, I've got to shoot off.
Just
my bollocks are on the line.
Cohort, and they make what? What do they make? Just games?
Tell him to sod off. I've got to go, mate. I'm really absolutely sorry.
I think that guy was genuinely angry at us.
Oh no, he looked as if he'd been waiting though, didn't he? He's got a right to be angry. Some puppet. You know about.
I don't like being made to look what?
Amateur, that's what it makes us look amateur.
Oh fuck.
Ja, precies. Dat ook wel. Dus
Well, I'm Chris Peck, Managing Director.
I'm Elsa Bates, Operations Director of Outer Light. Outer Light started 4 years ago. Chris and I, along with another person, started the company. We spent the last 3.5 years making a game called The Ship, which was our own innovative IP product that we made, which you can see behind us. I don't know whether you can see that. We've literally just signed a deal for the sequel. We signed it last week. So for most of this year, we've been thinking about the sequel, thinking about art style, thinking about what the game would be. And this last week, it suddenly got very hectic because we're actually now kind of in progress of actually doing it. So yeah.
Will the sequel be distributed in the same way?
No, this has been signed by quite a large publisher that we're not able to tell you who they are right now because it's currently confidential, but we will be able to in the future. They're a very big publisher and they've signed the full product, they'll fund it, etc., and they'll distribute it.
It'll be on PC, Xbox 360, so that's really good news to be on consoles finally.
Yeah.
So. There's plenty of good titles, as it were, coming out of Scotland, so it's not like we're rubbish at what we do, we're actually really good at it. We've done the same thing, got critically acclaimed.
Across the globe. We haven't had a single bit of press in Scotland, I don't think. It never appeared in any Scottish national news. Consulvania, no, they were good. I like them. Consulvania are good guys.
I can't understand a word they say. Brian, there's a time and a place, Brian. And who would you say is your favourite between the two? Who's your favourite games? Who's your favourite designer?
For me, it's...
No, I mean it's a multiple choice. Who's your favourite designer? Oh. Is it George at Asda or Cherokee at Tesco's? Ryan, yeah.
I think that this is maybe this is like old school visual effects, isn't it? Like we can get the ripple technique.
Ryan and short one.
Yep.
Is that red light on at the front?
Yeah.
Is it?
We do the development tools that allow people to write games or design the hardware for games.
I'm Mike. I'm the sales guy, that's why I've got a tie on.
I'm Colin Riley and I'm the lead PS3 developer for Codeplay.
PS3. Nail it. So give us a bit of history to the man in charge again. Go on, Sam, John. Point it at him.
So I used to be a game developer and it used to be tiny teams of people making games and they just got huge and the cost of making games is huge and it makes it very difficult to take risks or do anything new if it takes years and years and huge numbers of people to do anything. So I set up CoPlay with a view to make tools to make it much easier to do that.
I've never played a computer game in my life, apart from that wee one where it went round eating up things.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
My name is Jeff Meek. I'm managing partner of Cabe's Chartered Accountants. We work with a number of media companies, including computer games and animation and film. Our role is to help the companies grow by using tax methods, like helping shareholder incentives, by helping them get investment by using tax incentive investments, and to raise funding.
I've risked everything I've had pretty much year on year since like 1998. Every time, basically every year, every project we do, it always seems to get to the point where it looks like my ass is, on the line for everything I own, and then we pull it out of the bag, and then it's all okay again.
You pull your ass out of a bag?
Yeah. We do business development, manage the projects, and let video game developers develop. But what we do is we do design the product that we expect them to perform. I guess that's probably one of the things that differentiates us from your sort of regular publisher, is that we are actually video game developers. So we're not purely about marketing. We actually can come with a finished software engineered sort of blueprint for a product.
The point has been made that games like Crackdown and Grand Theft Auto, probably your average games player, or certainly your average American games player, wouldn't know that it was produced in Scotland, that game, but within the industry you think it is renowned?
Well, I think most of the sort of key guys would know that it was made here. But frankly, the video game industry is full of a lot of people who are not inherently knowledgeable about the video game industry. Like they work at it and they do their little bit, but they're not massively knowledgeable about the business itself. If a film gets made in New Zealand, we all know about it because it's across all the mass media press. If a game gets made in New Zealand that's a big game, then nobody mentions it. It doesn't seem to be newsworthy. It doesn't even get into the newspapers. It doesn't matter if it sells 50 million copies. It's it's not perceived by the Sun to be interesting. We're kind of like rock and roll, but without anybody sexy to take a photograph of. So we get all the negative stuff that rock and roll would get, but without any of the positive stuff.
Always on edge, she can't stay calm. She goes fucking mental in a traffic jam. You better move over, Colin McRae, or my mum will kick your ass off the motorway. But it's not her fault that she can't drive. I would get in if you want to stay alive. Come on, Dad, something's got to be done. 'Cause Mommy with the cars like a monkey with a gun. Mommy with the cars like a monkey with a gun. Mommy with the cars like a monkey with a gun. Mommy with the cars like a monkey with a gun.
Double bed, I see. That's the main bedroom. Yeah.
What's your something?
Yeah, I'm Brian Hackett. I run Claymore Games. We've been a mobile development company for about 3 or 4 years now. Recently we've been trying to expand further into some of the new consoles, such as Xbox Live Arcade, and now we've heard that the Wii is opening up its stores. We'll be taking a look at that.
My name's John Sykes. I'm the CEO of Play Technologies, one of the new game design companies in Scotland. Play Technologies has been going for 3 years now. We've got our first game coming out this year, and we've got Flux coming out next year. Flux is a game where you travel back and forward through time, pass elements through time. We've got time portals all over the place. What you're trying to do is press the red button to make sure that you can jump into your next time zone, always trying to get back to the time zone where you first started from. Not unlike Quantum Leap, trying to play on the old space travel genre like Back to the Future, you've actually got an element where lightning will strike and you've got to make sure the thing's in the right space when lightning strikes, otherwise you're not going to be able to get home. It's that kind of game. Creativity often comes from having to struggle and make things happen. But we've been through times in our company where it's got to the point where you just wonder whether it was all worth it. And you really wish there was actually somebody there who could just give you a hand, even in advice, telling you where to go. I think this happens perhaps in Dundee more than where I'm based in Edinburgh, but I think there's a lot more that could help us with getting our hands on certain technologies and just knowing what's out there to help us get along in quite a tough environment.
The games industry in Scotland's actually doing okay. We had a few big casualties the last few years, and a lot of people thought it was game over, if you'll pardon the pun. But that was a global thing. Loads and loads of big games companies shut down. Scotland suffered the same way, but what's happened is a lot of wee companies have come out of that, and they're setting up, they're looking at new areas like mobile gaming, casual games, digital TV gaming, all of these new channels, you know, and things like Xbox Live Arcade and the online channels from the PlayStation 3 and from the Nintendo Wii are going to be more exciting in a lot of ways than the actual consoles themselves over the next 5 years. So all in all, I'd say we're doing pretty well.
Do you want us to interview anybody else, or are you just going to talk for the whole thing?
I know, that was quite long, that bit.
Okay, Scottish games industry.
I hear it's out there.
Okay.
Has anybody done any damage to the Scottish games industry, do you think?
That's a good question. If anybody, it probably itself, in that it's probably quite, it's not as arrogant as Americans, that's the problem. I'm not saying we need to be quite that bad, but I think we done a lot of great things and don't really shout about it. There's no self-effacement at all. Exactly. So if anyone's
to actually talk to people without being held at gunpoint.
But I think that kind of.
Do you think that's the responsibility of the industry itself, or do you think it's out with the industry, like the media isn't covering what's happening in Scotland? Because we were talking earlier about how the Scotsman, for example, wrote a really negative article recently about the Scottish games industry.
Yeah, that's lazy journalism. That's really easy to do. I don't think it's entirely the journalists. I mean, they've got to feel inspired to write something in the first place, and we don't exactly have a great deal of personalities these days.
Scottish games industry.
The best games.
In terms of Scotland, or just the games industry globally, or
Scotland?
I think the games industry in Scotland, you know, is continually evolving. You know, it's a lot different from where it was sort of 10 years ago. There were a couple of major players. Red Lemon was there, Visual Science was there, Viz was there. All those companies have now gone, but we've got new companies like Real Time Worlds and Denki that are really doing incredibly well. So, you know, the continuing landscape is going to, is going to continue to evolve. And it's the companies that can be quite fleet of foot and can adapt to businesses that are going to be successful. And I think we'll continue to see some of the stars rising to the top in Scotland again.
Word association, Scottish games industry.
Innovation.
The British government doesn't understand the concept of supporting the games industry. One of the reasons I'm in Canada is, look what the Canadian government do. They have started an industry in Quebec, I live in Montreal, through government subsidies and credits, which have reaped huge benefits for the local economy, because although they have invested in tax credits, it has repaid itself time and time again in the government's coffers. Britain needs to wake up and smell the coffee and start actually funding an industry that Britain started and is now losing to all the other places that fund it. So I think they could do a hell of a lot more.
Edinburgh's a hard place to have an office. You don't have... yeah, I'll just say it's a harder place to have an office.
Alright, suit yourself.
I don't want... It's being paid for by Scottish Executive. I don't want to sit there and slag off any...
Well, others have.
Really?
Alright. That's why we're asking.
I'd have said that Dundee... companies in Dundee have a lot more support than other areas in Scotland. I'd say that. Edinburgh's capital city, they don't need any more companies coming in. They want to get companies moving out into different areas of Scotland. Edinburgh's already got its powerhouse. It's all about money. It's not really about investing in small, creative, new media companies. It's not their bag. It's not what they're into.
The Scottish games industry.
think it's in a better state because there's far more companies. They may be smaller companies, but they're growing and they've got underlying value. Some of the large companies in the past were focusing on maybe one sales source, if you like. So the problem with a lot of games companies is that it can be very much hand to mouth. You're doing work for one publisher. If the publisher fails to pay the bill at the end of the month, then you're pretty well stuffed. I think what's happening now is there's far more smaller companies who have a range of interests and they're more stable because of it.
The Scottish games industry, bigger than ever, innovative, expanding, quality. That's it all.
Scottish games industry.
In trouble. Has had a very hard time in the last few years, I would say.
Why do you think that is?
Because Visual Science went bust, Viz went bust, a lot of DC Studios is no longer in the UK. I think the
fundamental problem with the Scottish games industry is we're developers, not publishers. The publishers make the money, and the developers go out of business.
That does seem to be the pattern, as far as we can tell. I mean, we've had quite a hard year as well, so I think it's hard to make it as a developer, and I think Scottish developers get no help. Look at what they get in Canada.
So where do you think the help should start from then?
Well, the Canadian system is they get 50% of the project funding, but they also pay 50% tax. So basically the risk is slightly more with the government in the first place, and given the nature of the industry, it's a bit hit or miss. So really what they're saying is if we have a hit, we'll pay you plenty of money back, and if we have a miss, well,
that's okay.
Ça va.
So
every publisher in the world has a studio in Canada. I wonder why, I think that's one thing the Scottish development community has. I think we actually do all feel like we're part of a development community, albeit a shrinking one, and I think that ought to be an advantage, but because there's very little assistance, certainly nothing from the government, or very little financial assistance, it's very hard for us to pull together and do things. I mean, Brian's doing it off his own back, it's not kind of like somebody's particularly helping him to do this stuff. And I don't quite know why.
Now the truth.
Jesus, sorry, you've just thrown me on that one, like. Right, okay, I'll be really positive here, right, okay?
The Scottish games industry.
Growing.
Soon it will all make sense. Soon I will learn to make amends. Soon I will be with friends. 'Cause time ain't healing me.